It is time for another Sunday Sickos. We are going to draft over on drafters. And remember that pain is temporary, but bad drafts, they are forever. King Coakley, Socrates. Somebody said it.
Three, two, one. Liftoff.
Good morning, everybody. It was a little bit of a wild morning. I had to try to deposit because I thought I had enough money on drafters, but I didn't, and we were doing that at the last second. But we should be all set. We should be ready to go. We are going to fire into one of the $10 drafters tournament, the early best ball championship, which is a $10 entry fee. We're actually just going to jump into it right now because these take a little bit to fill occasionally. So we might as well get into it, make sure that we're in. So we're jumping into the $10 fast draft. So if you are interested in joining, please join because we need 8 more people as we sit here and wait. I hope everybody's weekend is going well. I hope you're excited about football as things are starting to kick up with free agency looming. The combine just happened. We've had a Matthew Stafford dilemma resolved. We have a first blockbuster trade for this year with Debo moving to Washington. It's going to be a great best ball offseason. As always, I have a lot of expectations that things are going to go a little bit crazy, obviously. So we'll start firing some morning. Good morning, Tebow. Good morning, Fantasy Football Garage. So jump into this drafters fast draft. We need 7 more right now. If that's something you're interested in doing, we will jump through a drafters draft. And something I've been working a little bit more on is thinking about how I want to approach drafters this year. I feel like my philosophy hasn't been the best over the past few years. Not that it's been dreadful, but I think that I can be a much better player on drafters, and that's one of my goals this year is to be a better player on drafters. So that's what we're going to do. We need 7 more. So I need you to jump in here if you're interested in drafting over on drafters. We can look at the tournament structure while we wait here and talk about that real quick. So first place is a cool $25,000. It's about 10,000 short of filling at the moment. You do get draft tickets if you're signing up on drafters, right? If you haven't joined, obviously use promo code SPIKE for a deposit bonus. But if you draft on drafters after 10 of these drafts, you will get a free entry. After 25, another free entry. 50, you get another one. At 100 drafts, you get 2 more. So that's 5 bonus entries that you can get with just 100 drafts. I know it's a lot. And at 150, you get $100 in bonus funds to start using during the regular NFL season schedule. So they have $150 value for maxing. So you actually get something back here. Another reason why I love drafters. They are great, and they make sure that they take care of their players here. So very cool of them to do that. We are waiting for 3 more people. 3 more and this draft will fire. So jump into this drafters draft if you haven't yet. This will be my first $10. So I've done at least one of the $3. Again, I'm being very reserved in the pre-draft stuff. Tebow's going to be firing his 28th, but Tebow, didn't you win like $1 bazillion on drafters? Drafters takes a while to fill. That is true, but the best things in life are worth waiting for. So never forget that. Other sayings. I'm going to be trying to have some fun with the titles on these Sunday Sickos ones. So As you saw last week, the Zero Hero, whatever RB1. This one I sort of twisted a saying and I accredited it to Socrates because we know Socrates, big best ball player back in the Roman days. I wonder if they had gladiator best ball. Oh my god, gladiator best ball sounds like the greatest thing ever. I'm in. All right, we need some willing participants to be gladiators, but gladiator best ball sounds like something that I want in the future. We also need an arena. We need a coliseum. All right. This plan's getting a little more far-fetched, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to get some gladiator best ball in the future. We just need one more to fire this draft, and we'll get it going here on the stream for this Sunday morning. Thanks for joining. I know that these are early, but these are intended to be a little bit more laid back. I might have a few guests coming up. I've been talking to some people about coming on to hang out. We'll keep the laid back atmosphere of the show. Probably play some music as Jesse enters the chat. Jesse, responsible for all the music that you hear here on here. I do this when I write scripts sometimes too. I just keep using the same word over and over, and I want to hit myself in the head with a hammer. That's always a fun morning. All right, one person. I even have some coffee left this morning, which I never do at this point. And it's a rug pull because I have a little bit of coffee left and I forgot to grab a water. So there may be a point in the draft where I need to run and grab a water out of the fridge that is about 17 feet away from me. So I'm sorry if I leave you for 17 seconds or less. Probably 4 seconds. But what's time? It's a flat circle. It's time to draft. All right. We're going to use my favorite feature and hit the I am ready to draft button that everybody will hit but one person. Standard is the standard. Let's use in here. Huhames is a familiar name. Tebow, obviously we know. Ralph Wiggums. Nick Shubat looks familiar for some reason. Maybe I've seen them on another site. Maybe they're in the chat. Oh, and we got the 101. I don't know what I want to do with the 101. This wasn't expected. I wanted like the 104. What in the world am I supposed to do? I love Jamar Chase. I don't know if I want to go with Jamar. Oh my god. What an absolute nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. This is too much pressure. So, I also am going to lay out a caveat. I'm not going to draft him right now. I'm not drafting Saquon on DraftKings or Underdog, but I believe I will be drafting him on Drafters. I think it's just a different beast. It's an absolutely different beast. God damn it. I really don't know what I want to do here. Alright, so 4 people did not click the Let's Draft button. Ugh. We're going to play the first round safe. I'm just going to grab Jamar. I love Jamar Chase. I was going to shake things up and grab Bijan at the 101. I was considering Gibbs. But we will grab Jamar Chase, and we'll figure it out from there. Yes, I should have gone Samaje. Why am I not drafting Saquon? Sorry, Tebow, I didn't look at your question till now. I'm guessing it was why am I not drafting Saquon? So the way I like to play best ball every year is, I mean, obviously multiple ways, but in regards to the first round, I'm very particular about wanting to, in tournament formats especially, find out. I want to be overweight on first rounders and like heavily overweight on first rounders. And the only way you can be overweight on some first rounders is to just absolutely cold fade other first rounders. So last year for me, it started off with 3 first rounders that I wanted to fade were CMC, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyreek Hill. And that way it would have allowed me to get Jamar Chase, Bijan, Justin Jefferson. That was the goal last year. Now I wavered a bit on CeeDee Lamb. I came around to drafting him at an even clip. I felt like maybe that was a bit too much. So that was around this time last year that I was going to fade those 3. And then I wavered on CD, but I didn't waver on fading Tyreek and CMC. It allowed me to be heavily overweight to Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase. Yeah, those guys. So in order to do that this year, we're going to have to look at the first round and who are guys that I want to fade. And we'll talk more about this when we do a underdog or a DraftKings stream. But I think Barkley's an easy one for me to get out of there so that I can still make sure that I have my Gibbs exposure, my Chase exposure, my Bijan exposure. It's a lot tougher this year than it was last year is what I'll say. I'm still working through it because I think the first round is stronger this year than it was last year. For sure. Like, I don't even think it's close, to be honest. I think this year's first round is the strongest it's been in a long time, probably. So to do that is going to really require a lot of tough decisions. And I'm going to have to work through that and see if there are decisions I want to make or if I waver on that strategy this year. The last few years, there's been either a top 4 or a top 5, and there's been like an absolute cutoff point between those. And I don't see that this year as much. I really don't, as of the moment. So that's where I'm at with that. In terms of drafters, running backs, I think early running backs are a lot more valuable here. So I might want to cut out different players on drafters, right? I might be like, I love Puka, and I'm just using this as an example. But maybe he's the guy that's got to go if he's going to be the 105. If I get rid of Puka, that's going to allow me to have extra shots at Jefferson, Lamb, and St. Brown. All right, we're going to be up on our next 2 picks here in a second. I would love to know what I want to do with Breece Hall this year. That would make my life way easier. I think what we're going to do is I wanted a running back in the first few rounds. And although Bucky's price is like tough to digest, I think I want to do that. And I think I want to also fire Trey McBride. I think he's a great value here. And's Comedy is asking, of course, every situation is fluid, but generally speaking, do you have a structure you favor more on drafters? More on drafters because it's a cumulative scoring format as opposed to a playoff format. I think I don't have a structure that I favor more, but I like to alter what I consider the structure. And the way I describe this is, so like your 0 RB structure, for example, one thing I know I was doing last year was, if you guys remember, 0 RB sort of started at the Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard range, if I'm remembering names correctly. like that's where we considered the pocket of like truly going zero RB at that point in time. My philosophy on drafters was that should be a round earlier. And the round earlier was roughly Kenneth Walker, Kamara, though Aaron Jones, those guys. So like I don't have one that I favor more. I think this year I am gonna definitely make sure that I do a bit more hero RB than I do like zero RB. Like I'm gonna try to have at least that anchor running back. And as you said, the situation's fluid, so it's going to be what the draft looks like at that point, what the draft board looks like. But the willingness to alter what I consider a quote unquote strategy. So zero RB is an easy one. I won't be doing as much of the 4 and 5 only running back builds that I'll do on DraftKings and Underdog on drafters. I'll add a little bit more depth, and you have the 20 rounds to do so. That's sort of the stuff I'm looking at. RGT says Brees seems like a hit at his price this year. Yeah, well, I think he's one of those guys that I think there's, and this is oversimplifying, but I think there's a lot of guys this year that are just, you want to be either overweight or 0% on. And I am going to put together a whole video, I think probably in May is kind of my plan. When we get the draft board, and then I'll do a follow-up one in August is the plan. But once we have this solid draft board after the draft and stuff, I've been calling them falling knives for the past like month or two. I just really think that guys, there's obvious ones, and then there's guys like Brees Hall, who are, he's probably not a third rounder, right? He's probably either being extremely undervalued or overvalued where he's being drafted. So I think those are decisions you have to make on a lot of players this year. And if you think he's being undervalued, you need to make sure that you're extremely overweight on those players. And if he's being overvalued, probably just a fade. It's sort of the way I'm looking at it. Okay, we are on the clock here. I've really been coming around. Not that I'm a rookie guy, like in terms of like knowing things, but I feel like Omari and Hampton is a pretty fun bet this year. So he's been kind of a guy that I've sneakily been wanting a ton of. So we're gonna draft Hampton. I think Zay Flowers is amazing for the drafters. I just like, part of me just wants to stack Joe Burrow here. But let's grab Zay. Yeah, let's grab Zay Flowers. I think he's just a great pick in the 5th round on drafters. We can push QB. We're fine with that. We don't need Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow 5th round is so tough. Such a hard click to grab Burrow in the 5th. Where did McLaurin is a 2nd rounder? I'm going to be watching McLaurin's price with the Deebo Samuel news. Curious about what's going to happen there. I mean, he might not drop at all, but I'm just wondering if people are going to get slightly worried, which they shouldn't be. We will see, though. We will see. But yeah, that's going to be, I think that's going to be a big part of my portfolio this year in general, is sort of going through and putting an asterisk next to guys. So like if we go through the 1st round, obviously I want Chase, Gibbs, Bijan. We said the 1st round is pretty much amazing. Want all these guys, but the 2nd round is where we start to see this. Early 2nd round, Derrick Henry. I think you need to make a decision there. Early 2nd round, Christian McCaffrey. Especially Christian McCaffrey. He's not a 2nd rounder. He's a 1st rounder, or he's like dead. So you need to make that decision. Yeah, I think Terry is still declared number one in DC, but you know how these things go, where perception from the general community is Debo came in, Debo eats into Terry McLaurin snaps, which is just not going to be the case, as we know. And people drafting now usually know that. I mean, so you probably won't see his ADP drop now. Yeah, this is the point I'm making. Who Hames? I agree. CMC is a 0% or 20% guy. I think there's no in between. I think he's like the clearest definition of this that I've been sort of pointing out. I think CMC, you either, he's either 0 or 100. I think that's fine, Shuby. But if I'm in on CMC, if I were to be in on CMC, I'd be in on him in every format. He's either a 0 or 20% guy across the board for me. Tyreek Hill's the same way. If we think that it was just a down year for Tyreek Hill, and you're getting him at this point in time where he's going around, players that we like, but like Jonathan Taylor, Terry McLaurin, who I really like, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving. If you think that it was just a down year for Tyreek Hill, you should be smashing Tyreek Hill. You should be getting like above 16% on him easily. Who are going to be the biggest movers due to the combine? I'm seeing things not look great for some of the tight ends there. Like, I think Fandon's going to drop based on not having a great combine from what I saw. I'm going to be honest with you. I was watching Elimination Chamber last night, so I did not intake all of the combine news. As Shuby brings up, I did see that Golden is going to be a big riser. Golden's a guy that you want to smash now. You really want to smash Golden now. He seems to be the off-season darling for a lot of people. So I think Golden is going to move up big time, and he's definitely going to move up once he gets drafted. So we are on the clock here. We're going to do a little bit of scrolling. I just kind of want to see what the board looks like here for our 6th and 7th round picks. I don't like Connor. Let's go ahead and snag Jaden Reed. Last pick of the 6th round. Why not? Didn't Judkins have a good... Was I reading his numbers? God, I can't remember. I really like Downs as well. But let's have fun. Let's grab another rookie running back here. Push QB a little bit more. Yeah, I thought Judkins crushed, if I remembered correctly. Speaking of crushed, we're going to talk about Elimination Chamber at some point today. It's morning. I'm going to grab a water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. We did it. All right. I won't start talking about wrestling yet. We'll talk about wrestling in a little bit. People get mad at me when I don't talk about football on the relaxed Sunday stream in the comments. Stick to best ball. Okay. We'll stick to best ball through the first half of the draft, and then all bets are off. Yeah, we see Golden go in the 7th round here. It's so funny how the draft cycle just repeats itself, where every year as we start drafting early, we love the first round. The second round's kind of iffy. The third round, maybe a few guys that we like here and there. Actually, like a lot of the third round this year. But then 4th round on, we feel like everything is just mostly gross. But come May, we're going to have that groove. We're going to be looking at the 6th, 7th, 8th round. Like, we like this guy here, this guy here. We just get into that pattern matching and have habitual drafting. And we think we know which pockets we love. Such a fun cycle. Then we try to break our brain of being in those pockets and trying to make sure that we're doing additional things. So, good times. Great times. All right. I am excited. So everyone's excited for the draft. I'm always excited more so for free agency. I cannot wait for free agency every year because the free agency period defines the draft even more. So then we kind of know what we're actually looking for in the draft. So for me, I love free agency, and I think it's going to be fun this year with trades and all kinds of shit. San Francisco is looking interesting this year. Trading Debo, as we expected. All right. Kyler is definitely going to be one of our 2 picks here. I think that's pretty easy to lock up. What do we have? We have 3 RBs, 3 wide receivers. We have a tight end. We're going to grab Kyler. So I think we grab Kyler. And because we have Trey McBride, we're just going to snag Tyler Warren here. And that's going to be our 2 tight ends. Been wanting to put that combo together, so I think that I want to do that now. So we're going to do the McBride Tyler Warren combo at tight end. Be done. So through 9 rounds, we have Kyler Murray at quarterback, Bucky Irving, Marion Hampton. I'm not even going to try to say the first name, but we have Judkins. We have Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Trey McBride, Tyler Warren. It's going to be fun to see how we play out the rest of this draft with that lineup. Perhaps we're punting too much wide receiver, some would say, but I think we can balance it out. I think it's fine. Did anyone else watch Elimination Chamber last night? Because we'll start talking about that, because that was wild. I have thoughts. I have thoughts. What is Elimination Chamber? It is wrestling. It's WrestleMania season. A game show? No, it is wrestling. And don't let anyone fool you. I am the wrestling guy in the best ball community. Others have tried to copy. I guess copy is right. Some of the stuff I've done with wrestling in the best ball space, which is fine. But just remember, I'm the original. I am the original. So when you see wrestling stuff, just remember I am the originator. I think we're going to bring back the Rumble this year. We did it 2 years ago. The Best Ball Rumble was a lot of fun. Kind of want to do that again. the same year that Karain won $2 million, he won the Spike Week Rumble. I came in second, which was annoying. Should have been me. But that was a fun stream. It was a fun draft. We had all the biggest names in the best ball industry in it. So hopefully we can get that done again this year. Who Hames is on the clock, and then we will be doing a double pick. We are going to grab Jordan Love. And yeah, he feels like he should be a fifth wide receiver instead of a fourth, but I do want to grab Keon Coleman in the 11th round. Yeah, he's tough. He's a tough one, but I do think there's potential for him this year, especially as an 11th rounder. Certainly think there's more upside for him than some of the guys that are going around here. So we'll take him. When did Herbert go? And we grabbed Love to stack with Jaden Reed, and I think we're done at QB. I just wanted to get the QB thing done. I did see the Hurts drafter grab Mahomes and Mayfield. So I know that will cause some people to over panic. Although it doesn't really happen this year because this pocket, this 8th to 11th round, it just goes so quarterback heavy now that I don't even think there's panic. I just think that's just the natural draft flow at the moment. Unstacked Herbert seems to be real popular. Well, yeah, I mean, like, who are you stacking him with other than Ladd that you really like in the front end of the draft? Like, I think you're grabbing Herbert and you're hoping to grab shots after him if you're trying to stack him. Because you're not grabbing Quentin Johnston before you grab Herbert, you know? So I think it's a good mentality to break on quarterbacks. Like Herbert's like one of those guys that I think it's more than fine to break that mindset of I have to stack this quarterback because there is only one guy really, right? And you just grab Herbert, who you know is going to produce for you, and it is what it is. You can get somebody behind, great. But I think that I'd rather grab unstacked Herbert than be so scared to grab him because I don't have a Charger on my team. I think in March of all times, that's a habit that we need to absolutely break. I also think one of the most underrated quarterbacks on the board, we're not going to draft him in this draft. Like in terms of just flat out best ball stuff, we're going to grab Benson. We're just going to continue to add to this Arizona build. So we're going to grab Benson. Then we're going to weep. We're going to do a lot of weeping. God, is it Coker or is it Leggett? Let's grab Benson and let's grab Coker. Where is it, Leggett? Leggett or Coker? I hate it. We're gonna grab Coker. Let's grab Coker. It feels more fun. I'll probably lean Leggett more times than not, but let's grab Coker. And I think one of the more underrated picks on the board is now Bryce Young. They re-signed Andy Dalton, so they're not going to bring in competition for Bryce Young this year. I think that Bryce Young is sort of a great pick. I think he's a great pick on the board. Not something I thought I would ever say in my life. If we transported back to week 3 of last year, saying that Bryce Young on the Carolina Panthers is probably one of the more underrated quarterback picks on the board. Man, but it is. Yeah, I could have gone Dobbs for sure. We could have went with Romeo Dobbs. I looked at him. I wouldn't be shocked if what's his contract? What is Romeo's contract? I wouldn't be shocked if he's moved. Maybe he won't be because of the Christian Watson stuff, and maybe they don't land another receiver. But if they do land a receiver, I wouldn't be shocked if Romeo Dobbs is out of there. So he's on the last year of his deal. He's a dead cap hit of 170. I mean, he's rookie contract, so I doubt they're not like going to flat out cut him. I'm not saying he's a cut candidate, but I wouldn't be shocked if they move on. If they get another receiver, if he's either part of the compensation or they move on from him based on some of the stuff that went on last year. But in fairness, we don't know. And it doesn't mean, like, if we have Love, we should still be grabbing Dobbs as well. As Downs brings up, Wicks is there as well, which is fine. We hope that he finds a pair of hands this offseason. We would really like for him to catch a football every once in a while. That would be great. That would be spectacular, honestly. All right. Things start to get really gross in this part of the draft. And we don't have a lot of yellow lighting up. Some would say no yellow lighting up. I like to take shots on some of these falling veterans in this space, especially in the drafters format, where if they come in, they can find a role somewhere. There was a lot going on with Amari Cooper last year that was a bit weird. So I want to grab Amari Cooper here. Just think he's fine to take shots on. I don't think it's terrible. What is terrible is the rest of the picks on the board. Oh, no. All right, well, I guess we took Isaiah Bond, which is fine. Wouldn't be a Sunday morning stream if I didn't auto draft somebody. Versier loves the team except for Keon. All right, let's go over the team as constructed. So we have Kyler and Jordan Love, Bucky Irving, Amarian Hampton, Quinshon Junkins, Trey Benson, Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Jalen Coker, Amari Cooper, Isaiah Bond, Trey McBride, Tyler Warren. So I think we've probably missed on an RB somewhere, especially for this format. Probably should have grabbed at least one RB in our last 4 picks. This is probably last 3 picks, I would say. We can go back to Coleman. We probably should have grabbed maybe double tapped RB around there. Figure it out though. So as far as Elimination Chamber goes, John Cena turned heel last night, and we are sad. And that's all we'll say about it for now. Is this a 150 max? It is. And they give you tickets throughout the way. So if you draft 10 teams in this tournament, you get a ticket. You draft 25, you get a ticket. And then there's more tickets. And then if you max it, they give you $100 in credit for the site. So you can get $100 to draft teams for the regular season. Yeah, that's a good point. So that's the point versus here, where there are rookies, but I don't think we want to get overzealous on rookies and cumulative scoring. Doesn't mean that we don't want to draft them. We just don't want to go crazy. I think Braylon Allen was who I preferred to draft there over Bond, but I just got too caught up in looking at the board. That's kind of where I wanted to go. But that's fine. Such is life. Such is life. Yeah, so if you are looking at doing drafters, again, there's no other site at the moment that is giving you tickets for drafting. So shout out to drafters for consistently being awesome. You can earn up to 5 free tickets throughout milestones in this tournament. And then again, once you draft 150, if you do decide to max this out, you get $100 in site credit. No one else is doing that. Okay. There is another contract I've been meaning to look up. We are on the clock. All right. We are going to grab Justice Hill, who I think looked great last year. And I don't really care about ADP at this time. We're going to grab Kendre Miller as well. So let's grab Hill. Let's grab Kendre. I think that they can provide usable weeks for sure, especially Justice Hill. So we're going to do that. Yeah, but I think we know it's all. I mean, stranger things have happened. Deals have not worked out because of certain situations based on like physicals and stuff, but I'm gonna guess that the due diligence was done on this. Well, you got him, Tebow. You got your man. That's what we do versus here. We overreact to the combine. Death, taxes, and overreacting to the combine every single year. Standard. Absolutely standard. Oh, we are firing through music today, it feels like. I have so many tracks now that we don't even have to like recycle as many. It's so nice. Speaking of nice, the weather is finally starting to break a little bit. At least here in New England. Although it was cold this morning. I did take Gotham for a run at the pond. And I don't know if I've just noticed it. You ready for old man takes? The last 4 to 5 years, I feel have been windier than ever before. Like, I don't remember there being so much wind. And maybe this is a New England thing, and this is also could just be a me thing. I just can't believe how windy it is on a consistent basis. And maybe when you're younger, you don't notice it, but God, I can handle cold. Cold doesn't bother me. But wind, ugh, God, wind will ruin your day. Well, I definitely have never lived in the Bay Area or Chicago, and I'm sure the winds are worse. But we have been getting a lot of consistent 30 to 40 mile an hour wind days, which is crazy. I'm right off the ocean too, so I'm relatively close to the ocean. So I am more at risk for that as well, I know, than other parts of the country, but I'm just saying it feels like a significant height here. I don't remember it until the last 4 to 5 years being as bad as it has been. We're almost on the clock here. Oh, running backs are quite gross, huh? So is Mostert going to be one of those guys that we should look at? Like, he won't get drafted, but we probably should have been taking him. I'm just going to draft Sean Tucker. We'll get 2 Tampa backs. I don't care. YOLO. We are not grabbing Christian Watson in this format. I don't know what else to do here. Jesus. Dude, what are we doing, auto pick? What is that? I gotta figure that out. Am I letting I didn't let Kendry. Oh well. We'll survive. We'll survive. You guys will be real upset when I start getting early season usable weeks out of Derek Carr, and he propels me to winning with Kyler Murray and Jordan Love at the end. We've already figured it out. I stacked Derek Carr with Kendre Miller. You think that I did it as a mistake, but it wasn't a mistake. It was an illusion. It was an illusion to make you think that I didn't want Derek Carr, but I did. I wanted my one share of Derek Carr this year to be on this stream on Sunday morning at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to stack with just Kendre Miller. And you can't prove otherwise. So there. So there. 1 pick left in this draft. I know I keep promising 2. Today cannot be one of those 2 draft days. I still have some audio to edit. I have a whole video to edit as well. I'll try to do 2 next week, even though I know I have another huge project that I got to get done next weekend, but maybe we can sneak in 2 drafts next weekend. We will try. especially because I may be no, the next 2 Sundays I should be here, but I might miss the Sunday after. I also just booked trips to, so I have Ohio coming up, and we are also going to Iowa and Kansas soon. All the states you want to visit, we're going to. So Iowa, Kansas, Ohio. What a great year. Banner year of states to visit. I am actually excited about these trips though. We are going to some cool locations. I actually just got to go to a really cool location last week. We got to go walk through the Lizzie Borden house, which was which was really cool to see the history. They have it set up just like it was in 1892. So it was a really hell of an experience to finally go. I live so close that I should have done it years and years ago, but it was cool to finally go walk through that house. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. Look at Devontae Walker. Good night, sweet prince. It's tough. Nick Westbrook Akine, sure. He knows how to score touchdowns. All right, so Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Derek Carr, who we definitely wanted to draft. Look at the value we got on Derek Carr. You can't convince anyone otherwise that this was the best pick of the team, probably. Bucky Irving, Amari Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Trey Benson, Justice Hill, Kendre Miller, Sean Tucker, Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Jalen Coker, Amari Cooper, Isaiah Bond, and Westbrook Akine, Trey McBride, Tyler Warren. I think it's solid. I think that is a min cash team if I've ever seen one. So if you guys are looking to follow the min cash team, this is going to be the line. This team right here is the min cash team. So it's going to be a team that you look at come week 15 or 16 and go, shit, it's too good for me to pass, but I know he's not going to make more than min the money. So that is what this team is. We successfully did it. We drafted a min cash team here on stream today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I, as of course, always enjoy doing these Sunday morning streams. Make sure that you are in the Discord for Spike Week. Jump in there. Jump in the lab on Wednesdays. We'll be back on this Wednesday night with another lab. If you haven't jumped in the lab, highly encourage you to come do that. One of the best things we do here at Spike Week. Until next time, though, I will catch you guys later. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Peace. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on. We draft a team. Boom. You know about it. We have another spicy take. Boom. You know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right. We'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.